Okay, this today is really this lesson today, I would say, and let me see if I can phrase this the right way. It's lesson number 349, and it really is, to me, within it. It's almost as if lesson 349. Today I let Christ's vision look upon all things for me and judge them not, but give each one a miracle of love instead. Okay. See, for me, this has been the process of utilizing A Course in Miracles. Each one of these, they're not concepts to me. Each one of these things is a doorway, is a key, is a door. Let's put it that way. Jesus is offering me the door. Knock and you shall enter. When I begin to look at these things as doorways into an experience rather than concepts, okay, my mind opens up and Christ's vision takes the place of the concept and replaces it with an action of, I don't know how to say this so you'll understand it, an action wherein which my mind and my heart unite in a certainty of truth, because the experience is recognizable and is in alignment with my soul and the will of God. Okay, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I approach this today. I let Christ's vision look upon all things for me and judge them not, but give each one a miracle of love and say. So I would liberate all things. If I want to be free, I would have to allow all things to be free as well. To the ego, that's chaos. Simply because the ego is a system of thought wherein which all parts are separate and disparate. So within that system of thought, every part would have the ability to think in the exact opposite way and would be using the way that's going on to continue to exist in opposition, and there would be no harmony. To the ego, that's what chaos is. Freedom to the ego, as Jesus taught and experienced, is what chaos is to the ego, because it utilizes images within space and time that are all based on limitation and separation to try to teach you a principle that's not of the world and therefore totally not understandable to the ego as the image maker that we utilize when we identify our mind with that idea that reinforces itself through this projected imagery that we perceive as around us, outside of us, within us in little pieces that prove the point that it's trying to make so that it can occupy your time and space with the need to appease and work with it, when it's a complete lie in relationship to who you are in creation, okay? So now, you have to learn that there is something in you that knows of the totality of that lie, and yet recognizes the lie as no longer tolerable to the condition of integration that you're enforcing upon yourself within your desire to allow yourself to be whatever it is you were created to be, because you were created to be something. And everybody here is searching for the meaning of what they were created to be. And there's no meaning separate from what you were created to be. So you have to go back to what you were created to be. And therefore you must go back to what created you to be what you are. begin to make peace with yourself within that relationship, and you begin to utilize the making of the peace within yourself in that relationship, within the relationships of the world, because you begin to utilize the Christ vision that comes from the recognition of the self that you are created by our Creator and Father as the truth of who you are, in a realignment and introduction of a harmony that's not of this world. But as we've been reading in all these lessons, when we trust it, the grace of God will fulfill all our needs. So we need to give ourselves a moment. Okay, let's look at time. Here's a moment of time and space. You've been doing everything you were doing in all your life, blah, blah. Now I'm going to give myself a moment. I'm going to take this time out right here, right now. I'm going to give myself a moment, a time and space, wherein which the dedication is going to be not to what I can always pick up. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous almost. Okay. Your misery is refundable. At any point in time in Alcoholics Anonymous, if you want to go back to being the way you have always been, the option is always there to go out and pick up a drink and drink, or whatever your choice of whatever it is that you have been utilizing. Okay, that's always the option. Okay, that's always the option here in space and time. But that's all that's been happening. Okay, now what Jesus is offering us behind door number 349 is the ability to have an experience that is entirely different and comes at no cost to you other than the willingness to let this time and space be utilized in a way that works for you, to allow his words and experience to be true within the shared relationship of the Christ mind that we exist as one in. Okay, so Jesus would liberate all things. He's got to liberate you, but he can't liberate you without your decision to be liberated. So he's offering you the way in which he knows a miracle of your liberation and his liberation can be a shared experience. So that in the new certainty and power of the sharedness of the experience, the separative nature of the power the ego presents to you no longer entices you, because in the shared nature of the experience you're having as a Christ mind, and as you learn to utilize this new law that's about to be presented to you, everything becomes yours. And once it's yours, the proof that it is yours is in the giving away of it rather than the retention of it, because every time you give it, the door behind which it was stored remains open, so you can learn to give more. And remember, we've been taught by Jesus that the miracle affects our perception of the world of space and time, and gives us, where there was previously lack, a gift from the divine, much like Jesus when he multiplied the loaves and fishes, that solves the problem. And the problem of space and time is always one of separation, therefore lack and sacrifice. So that comes to an end experientially in you. People want to know, the problem that most people have with the Course of Miracles is they want to know what it looks like prior to them giving themselves the gift of the space and time as a demonstration to the Holy Spirit that they really do want to try something different, rather than enter into an agreement based on the way they've always been doing things, thinking they could buy it, which you can't. So would I liberate all things I see and give to them the freedom that I seek? Okay, you only can, for thus do I obey the law of love. Okay, the law of love is the law of the totality of creation. It's not a static definition of what love is. Love is an activity of our creative reality. And as our soul is a part and parcel total within the whole, okay, our soul is the activity of love being created by the Father and creating more, as that is what it's designed to do, as what love is as creative power in reality. Okay? That's the law of love. For thus I obey the law of love and give what I would find and make my own. Okay, when I obey the law of love, I find out that I give what I would find. So let's say here, love is letting go of fear. Okay, let's use that. So I'm going to obey the law of love here. Right? I'm going to let go of the fear of not having love, or the fear of love not being enough, in the face of the question being asked to me by a form association that doesn't know what it needs because it doesn't know what it is. So whatever it's asking for must be contained within what love is, since love is everything, and what's asking the question is likewise included in that. And if it could get a dose or an opening through you being willing to know his mind, like your mind, must have an opening. So somewhere, if you don't try to arrange how it happens, including the definition of the substances with which he's asking you, and you just stop and give yourself that time and that space, what will happen is miraculous. It will demonstrate to you what you have as love and the abundance of love. And you will so enjoy the abundance of love in the simplicity of it being the answer, that you'll begin to utilize this law in all of your doings, so that the operating principle is the law of love, and everything becomes malleable, because space and time isn't, no matter how hard or substantial, space and time is not that, yet love is substantial and so available and malleable. It can be utilized in any situation because it is the power of the unification that denies the separation exists in the situation, which produces a currency of energy that brings into play the universe in its possibilities from outside of the limitation of space and time, where we previously thought the solution was in the problem, as we were both defining it in the relationship, because the solution in that definition was always one of lack, rather than the solving in the nature of the condition of lack that exists as our reality behind door number 349. It will be given me because I have chosen it as the gift I want to give. Father, your gifts are mine. Each one that I accept gives me a miracle to give. The nature of a miracle is not that it operates within linear temporality and arithmetic addition, or it's a multiplication of an infinite possibility of solution within a definition that was an attempt to exclude it. Because in the inclusion, the necessity to define would eliminate the ability for the problem to exist, and there'd be no need to hold anything together any longer. It would be all love, emanating from a single reality, an extension that is eternally and infinitely recognizable by everything that participates as you do, and it is here and now. and giving I would receive. I learn your healing miracle belongs to me. Yes. The more I give, the more I receive. It's the law to have all, give all, to all. Okay, that's a principle. Here's the way the ego attempts to do the course. It attempts to set up hypothetical situations in your mind when you hear that phrase, wherein which it uses the images of your past association with yourself and therefore with everything, including God. It manufactures images out of the condition of lack and separation you have already been living in. And they're all fearful images that prevent you from seeing there's a way to have all by giving all, because it shuts you off from the universal love and light that you are by putting you within a condition of limitation based on the imagery it offers you, wherein which there is no solution, so it's all fractals of the same non-solution in pretty forms that offer the solution, that offer a picture of the solution without the underlying need that the picture presented in the first place. If you get, our Father knows our needs. He gives us grace to meet them all. And so we trust in Him to send us miracles to bless the world and heal our minds as we return to Him. We're healing our mind back to the totality of where we are in reality as we are created to be there by integrating the principles that we lost contact with and made the world's principles up to operate by instead. And now most of us have reached the point where we recognize the world doesn't offer us any solution, so we're willing to try something different. But the ego is always attempting to co-opt it by offering to you that which is different within the framework of everything that's the same. So the only way out is by choosing a door and allowing it to be opened unto you when you knock. But don't expect anything of your own making or of the world's making to be behind it. Expect everything to be waiting for you, and the joy of the discovery that you have always been a whole perfect part of that everything will be so beyond anything you believe will occur to you. You rush back in because the nature of the discovery is the necessity to share what's just been discovered, because that's how you keep it. And that's what this lesson is teaching. That's how Christ's vision looks upon all things, and how the activity that you utilize in the world of space and time can be based on what you see in the vision that Christ offers you. Because the vision that Christ offers you, you know in your heart and your mind, is shared somewhere within all of us, because you recognize your brother as the Christ along with you, along with the one who offered you the ability to go beyond the door to experience yourself as the Christ.